our girls went, like, well, the oldest one went to college. And she got her doctorate. She kept going. Then Janice didn't want to go. The second one didn't want to go. And then the next two went, and they went to Alfred. And,
Oh, that's a great school.
Yeah, and that was only like 2 years. So.
Right.
But then Joan, was third daughter, she went back and got her degree at RIT because she was working at the hospital there in Highland Hospital, and they told her she had to get her degree.
Oh, anything in the health field is...
yeah, so she had to go.
But what they're running in today is what they call superfluous population. It's a triangle. There's only so many openings at the top for, say, someone with an MBA or somebody in a master's in education or whatever, but there's more and more degrees being granted all the time. So, I mean, 20 years ago, sure. I mean,
when I went to school, I mean,
right.
You didn't need it.
Right. I mean, high school education, if you got a college degree, man, I mean, you were...
Well, you went,
right. I mean, you were one of the chosen ones, really.
Yeah.
And that was...
There weren't as many.
I tell everybody, the buzzword today is you've got to be flexible. By all means, I tell everybody, you've got to go on for an associate's degree almost no matter what today. You go on and get that 2-year degree.
Right.
And don't worry about it. They all say, well, I don't know what I want to be. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Go get the 2 years.
Right.
And then either get into a big company, get into government, get into a trade, or just work until you think you find something you might like to do, and then maybe you will go back for more education, maybe you won't.
Right.
But, you know, at least you'll have that bit behind.
Something
Right.
Yeah. The youngest daughter, she went 4 years up to Potsdam.
Oh, that's good
and
school up there.
She got a good job with Dell. She's working for Dell. Well, she's in Nashville right now.
You see, one of the things that happened over the last 20 years is as our industrial capacity goes down, you don't need managers, you don't need, you know, all this support personnel.
Yeah, they narrowed it down pretty much, I guess. So.
But she's done, you know, Patty is...
well, she kind of fell into that because she took science and she was selling. She was on the road selling lab equipment, and she was making good money at that and perks and everything. But she didn't like it. She didn't like trailing alone. One girl, you know, calling on hospitals, staying in hotels, and going all over. And
When I was
she got out of it. And
in engineering there, I used to do vendor certification. You know, you go out and visit a supplier, and, you know, make sure the records are up to date, things are calibrated.
Quality.
Yeah, all this sort of stuff. Hated it. You know, you think it's nice because you're going to get to sleep in a hotel, and it isn't. Because you want to go home, you want to be home. I said, my life is at home with my wife, and
she was single, but I mean it's hard for a girl single, I think, doing that, you know, going to hotels.
Well, it's just like wear and tear. It's not the relaxing.
It's tiring, yeah.
And today it's even worse, I mean, because of planes and so on.
Today I couldn't imagine it. I mean, this was back in the days where you could show up a half an hour before the plane left, walk in, you know, get your ticket, right to the boarding.
Yeah.
All the other different...
that's right. You're on the road all the time, traveling. So. Well, she seems to like what she's doing, so. More or less in
customers. She's going to head up the
call center
in Edmonton.
When you're talking about computers, I just got a brand new one. I've been into computers since about 1984.
What do you have?
Now I've got a Sony RA710. It's the new generation. There's no more fans in the new one. It's to cool the processor. The latest ones are liquid cooled, nice and quiet. But there's nothing simple in computers. And I can say, you know, these guys are such morons. You know, you've got to make it, because I'm looking at somebody like me who knows what I'm doing. And all I'm trying to, I've got a lot, like 50 gigabytes of stuff to transfer from my old system. I've got thousands of photographs. And
well, I have the old Mac, I mean, the iMac.
He got the one he thought was the easiest thing to learn on.
I tell everybody, if it works and does what you want it to do,
yeah, it's good. I mean, you know.
So,
when I left our organization, I'll say computers are just beginning to be put on desks and so on. I mean, they used to have a room, I mean, bigger than this house that had all the, the big consoles and that. And so.
Oh yeah, I used to put magnetic tapes on.
Right.
Digital subscriber terminal equipment made by General Dynamics. And you had data cards and you had magnetic tape. And it was...
but I was with, I don't know if you remember, Computer Consoles, which was here in Rochester, and they developed the, I'll say, the intercept telephone system of direct, where they used to have the microfiche for the telephone operator to look up the local numbers and so on, and they computerized that.
Yeah, good.
And
they sold it all over Europe.
We had
South and all over. They were doing good with that.
right, all over, not only the United States but all of Europe. I mean, they installed the equipment, and then they thought they were, big stuff, and they thought and that was just when office, I'll say, equipment was just beginning to break in, IBM and Data General, and you name it all, were in the lawyers, accountants, and and I mean, it was a small company, and they didn't have I'll say, the financial backing. I mean, and they got their butts kicked, I mean, from one end to the other, and so they had to sell out. I mean, where if they'd have kept their niche and developed the telecom system, or installations and that, they would have been
it's tough to make those decisions.
Right.
If you look back 15 years ago, about the only one who's still here is Microsoft.
Right.
Everybody else, Wayne Laboratories, and look at the Radio Shack. They had a stranglehold on the market in the 80s. That TSR computer that they came out with. It's just unbelievable that all those things are gone now, or probably more accurately, they've been swallowed up by
swallowed, right?
Yeah.
Or the next generation of equipment or software is to, I'll say, make them obsolete, and they've just fallen out off the tree anyway. So in a way, I stick with iMac, because iMac is fairly simple to operate. I mean, and so
He talks to their daughter down in Pennsylvania all the time. She teaches down there, so she can.
How many kids do you have?
6.
6.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 5 girls and 1 boy.
When the kids were growing up, you lived in Fairport?
No, we lived in Pittsburgh.
We lived in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Yeah, we moved there from Buffalo, because he was working up there, and he lost his job for Sylvania. And then he got the job at the small company, CCI, and came down here, but he wouldn't move us down because he wanted to make sure they were going to be stable. So for 3 or 4 years, he drove back and forth.
Wow.
And then finally we moved to Pittsburgh. We were there 20 years. And then we've been here about 10. So after we decided to sell that house, and it was big, and we didn't need it anymore. Had 5 bedrooms. And he didn't want to climb the ladder anymore.
Well, we've even gotten to the point where we really like our house. It's a wonderful setting, because nobody can build behind us. So,
That's great.
Really private.
This is nice, 'cause it's got a common, in between.
Right.
And that way you got a few trees out there then, and that's mowed by the association.
Right.
So then that gives you a little.
Well, this is the way to go. I mean, this is all you see down south. We actually went down south and looked at some homes down there too. Down in West Virginia. Martinsburg area. Some beautiful homes down there like this. And like I said, the ones we were looking at down there, they were over 1,800 square feet. My goodness. But what we like is everything on one floor. We
Yeah,
like, everything's new, you're not worried about maintenance.
right.
And you can spend your time doing things that you'd rather do, rather than spending your time doing all the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And as much as we love our garden and our flowers and whatever, but.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not,
Well, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
that's, at least the pictures are in there, but
Yeah.
I don't know of anywhere we got,
One's in California, this girl, Becky.
Becky.
She has one boy.
And she looks just like my doctor. Dr. Gracie is my doctor, and that's what she looks like.
Yeah.
We did a calendar like this too with our cat. So, well, let me get some pictures out here and we'll see. This is what I got. This is my Canon.
Okay.
oh, okay.
This is
Yeah,
the-
see, I got the little one,
Mhm.
the 8060, but,
I really like this one. Like I said, most of the photographs I take are historical.
Sure.
And this goes all the way down to 18 millimeters. So I get a
Right.
wide angle, so I'm taking a lot of buildings and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. That's I've had that about a year now. That's my third digital.
Uh-huh.
But let's see what I got here first. Show you. These are just pictures from the last couple of years.
Mary called last night, because
He was trying to get
I was trying to get a hold of her, and I had the wrong,
Yeah.
I talked to her the last time, either I copied the wrong number, because I had 3802 and it's 3602. When I tried to call her on Sunday, I was getting the wrong.
Yeah.
So then I got directory assistance and got the, and then of course the phone was ringing off the hook because everybody was calling her, you know, and so then she had to, I don't know, just call
Let us know.
that he had died, we already knew it.
Yeah, well, he saw it in the paper.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But,
Actually, it was kind of a relief for Mary.
well, she said she never wished it back.
Right, you've been married that long, and
Yeah.
it was
When they go downhill like that.
right. The Alzheimer's really a terrible disease because you really are
You
your
lose that.
personality. That's what makes you who you are. And when they lose that, it's just and there's nothing you can do.
No?
No, it's a slow degenerative
Yeah.
disease, and
Yeah.
gentleman over here on the corner had it.
Mm-hmm.
They finally had to put him in a home, and then he passed away too.
Right.
They become just vegetables, really.
Yeah. And the family, even though they're doing what's best for them, when they put them in these places, they feel guilty about it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but they're getting so they're
But you can't adequately care for them.
right.
This isn't what you thought. First of all, you can't be awake 24 hours a day.
Right.
You're not trained for this.
You need help.
Right. Well, my wife and I, we've talked about, neither one of us is going to lose all that we've taken a lifetime to build up if one of us becomes incapacitated and there's no chance of a reversal or something like that. You start to want, all these years we've worked and paid taxes and whatever, you don't qualify for anything.
Yeah. I know.
And, like Gloria, because, Lou's
She's
daughter,
a nurse,
she's
right?
a nurse, and boy, she goes right off the deep end because she has to, a lot of her clients are these illegal aliens in Mount Morris, the Hispanics that come up here from New York City and, they don't work, but yet their kids' braces are paid for, and every medical test is paid for, transportation to and from. And then somebody like Lou, who was a veteran, and we're trying to,
They can't won't get anything.
Yeah. of course,
Right.
Dad being in World War II, and and I was in Vietnam, and I used to go down to Bath. I've got over 500 hours of volunteer work for the VA. I used to go down. Bath is a very nice VA hospital.
Uh-huh.
And while I was doing my social work stint, one of my internships. I worked for Catholic Family Services in Rochester.
Yeah.
And I got really upset there because they have a very good refugee resettlement program. And it's good, you know. But the director was down there one day and I made a comment that, you know, the refugees come in, we find them a place to live, we get them a job, we get them references, we get them medical, we get them dental, we give them clothing, we give them food, we help arrange transportation, you know, all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, imagine if they did this for a single veteran. Nobody does it for a veteran.
Right.
She didn't like that too much. And, and I've gotten, I'm just, and I tell everybody, because I make no apologies for it, I don't think we can do enough for the veterans. It's that simple. Without the veterans, none of us would enjoy what we have.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you see what they do for everybody else, and then some of these veterans got to go through and
Fight for it.
which is, that's pretty much what it is. But, oh well, you know, life's never going to be perfect, and any day you can get up and complain, I guess it's a good day, you know. Hey, I'll just show you a few. This is our house over. We live off from Route 15A, you know, over where the Shamrock gas station is.
15A goes down
Between Rush and Lima.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And Shamrock is that gas station that's out there in the middle of no place by itself.
I can't picture it.
It's got that Plains Road is where that giant oak tree is.
Okay.
But we're almost on the Rush border.
Okay. I know Plains Road.
Yeah.
That's on 251 where I'm.
Right. We go down Plains Road and we jump on 251.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But when we bought the house, it was 3 years old. It was a new house out in the middle of an open field.
Well, you gotta think,
we planted all these. There was virtually nothing there. We enjoy our
pretty house.
Yeah, I got hosta everywhere, as you can see. We really, we've put in, since we've been there, almost 100 cubic yards of bark mulch, which would be like about 12 dump trucks.
Yeah, holy mackerel, that's a lot of work.
You have to stain that often, do you?
Yeah, I like it because it's cedar and it's natural, and I like wood.
Right.
But if I ever build a new house, there'll be vinyl siding on it.
Yeah.
We had cedar shingles on there in Pittsburgh, so.
We have a goldfish pond out in our backyard.
Okay. Yeah, we got a little pond here too he made. That's a bigger one now. That's a pretty one. Look at that. Did you see that one?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 feet deep. It's 16 feet long by about 11.5 feet wide.
Got a big backyard too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I can see what
How
you're
many
saying.
acres?
Just a little over an acre.
Just over an
But I was telling your wife, the nice part is behind us, it's a forever wild area because there's a swamp a little ways down. And so they regulate the building around the fresh water supply.
A lot of deer, I assume.
Oh, God. Every night.
Every night.
Every night.
Every night to chew
Come out
off
to the bird feeders. Oh, yeah, they eat everything.
Yeah, right.
We try and make the best of it. We planted apple trees, cherry trees, pear trees, and it's for us and the animals, whoever gets them first. But this is we have an enclosed back porch. This is where the cats spend a lot of time.
Yeah. No, that's always nice to have.
Well, we tell everybody what we like about it is we're secluded, but we're not isolated.
Yeah.
You know, we can't see our neighbors, and it's quiet and whatever, but they're right next door.
Yeah.
It's not like we're out in the middle of
nowhere. Yeah.
Kind of funny, you know, Sandy growing up on a farm, she has no real interest in going back to that kind of existence.
Right.
I guess once they get off the farm, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's lonesome, by yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, again, that's the idea here is we can't see anybody.
Yeah.
But we're not all by ourselves. You know, there's people right next door, and
the country's.
This is our enclosed back porch. And that's where you can see our 2 cat stands there.
That's nice. Look her in there.
This is our backyard. Now, the house over there is about 800 feet away, and that's all that's ever gonna be there. And around the property, when we first moved in, we planted 100 Fraser firs. Those are the really nice Christmas trees, you know, they're gorgeous trees.
You got the cat poles there.
Oh, yeah.
Are they pedigrees or are they?
No, they were all
just
strays, and we trapped them and caught them and got them fixed. Since we've been there, I think we've caught about 14 cats.
Jeez, you sound like my daughter.
With your
Patty.
dogs.
She's got 4 stray dogs and I don't know.
Well, they got peacocks.
They got peacocks.
Where they are, they're wild down there. And they feed them, you know, so they got...
Well, we don't have any kids, so I guess the cats have more or less taken the place of the children over the years.
Sure.
Well,
That and our landscaping.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of work, you know.
Oh, yeah. But, you know,
I like the grasses, they...
yes, we just started getting into that the last few years. That's the way to go. The ornamental grass,
Right.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. They're good year round, you know. Yeah, I've got a garden out here, but it's not this big. Thank goodness.
Oh, my garden last year was the worst one we ever had. Just, you know, because it rained so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
It just rained,
I
and
don't think.
I got my garden down the low area, which during a normal summer is a good thing, because, you know, a little bit, you know, it's
Yeah.
not quite as hot, and it gets the moisture and whatever. This year, it was just,
It
I don't
rained
think it
every
ever-
day, yeah.
We didn't, I don't think I watered the grass
Only
once.
once.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Well, that's what I tell everybody, you just look at the pictures, it's the first time ever we had green grass the whole year through.
Oh, yeah. that's
Never
right.
turned brown.
That's right.
These I'm just gonna flip through kind of quick, because these are just pictures from the last couple, there's one of our cats there.
Oh, pretty, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, pretty.
Now there's my mother there, there's Miriam.
Oh, yeah. It looks the same.
That's over, well, that's at Jackie's house.
Uh-huh.
This is my mother's house here.
Okay, yeah.
There's Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is his granddaughter. This is Gloria's daughter, who's now going to be an assistant district attorney for Livingston
Right,
County.
Mary said that the other day
She's
that,
really a smart kid.
She's in politics, huh?
The other kid finished 4 years of college at Buffalo in 2.5 years. He doesn't, he's a big guy, Nate. He's just a big guy. You wouldn't think he was that smart. He's brilliant.
okay.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's my brother Bob.
Okay.
He was the one born in 1960.
Okay, I forgot
No,
about that.
Lou looks, I mean, it looks, you know, I'll say going downhill
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah,
This is Mary here, right?
that's Mary right there.
Mhm.
This is Steve's kid. He graduated from high school. That's what we're doing there.
Yeah.
Here's Steve. Remember Steve?
Yeah. My gosh, yeah.
You know, he was up at, I met him, we stopped at, last year in the summer. We went over, just on a ride,
Mm-hmm.
and we went over, stopped off at Mary's, and she wasn't at home. And I talked to the neighbor next door there, used to be, I can't even think of the name, he was working on the car. And so he said they may be up at his place
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on top of the hill there. And, but they'd gone out and he was
I
still
thought that
home.
was Gloria's place, no?
Well, Steve is up on Creek Road, which is up the hill from where Mary
To the
is.
right, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Right.
okay, okay.
And Gloria is up on off from Dutch Street.
Okay.
One of the things I tell everybody that Mary and Lou have really been a pretty good example. You know, they never had a lot of money, but they lived their entire lives within like 5 miles of most of their kids.
Yeah.
They've been involved in their children and their grandchildren's
Right.
lives,
Right.
Well, that's what you said.
the whole thing.
That's nice.
Except for the oldest one.
Except for Dick, he's over in Germany.
Germany,
Yeah.
right.
But I said, how many people
Yeah, have their kids around them like that.
Yeah.
And she said they're the ones that really
Took care
were
of
there.
Lou, yeah.
Steve has gone over, when Lou was in the nursing home, he went over every day and went over every day on the weekends too. He was there every day. We don't know if Lou really knew him. Lou called him the boy.
Yeah.
But he was the one that, he seemed to recognize Steve. They know, you know. But like I said, you know, when you've got 40, 50 years where, you know, and you know, it makes you stop. One of the things I've done, well, even when my father died, I always said that was a good experience, because I was actually holding my father's hand when he died. And one of the things it does, it puts you in your place.
Mhm.
You know, when that time comes, you can't do anything more than be there for them.
Right.
And that's your whole.
He had an operation, is that how he died?
Yeah,
That didn't go well or something?
yeah, they,
Uh-huh,
well, you can imagine what healthcare is in Arkansas.
yeah.
And of course, it's difficult, you know, because, you know, he's an adult, he makes up his own mind, but I never did like his doctors. His doctor was a heart specialist, and that was the only thing that wasn't wrong with my father was his heart.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you have diabetes?
no, what happened was his years of smoking,
Yeah,
his circulation
okay.
started to shut down.
Uh-huh.
And when he went into the hospital,
He didn't have emphysema though?
No.
Uh-huh,
nope.
uh-huh,
But one of the things that happened was he had a mild stroke.
okay. Yeah,
And when he had the stroke, it impacted his ability to swallow.
okay.
Well, they didn't really notice that or catch it. So because this wasn't working right, he wasn't actually getting enough air either. He was always pale and, you know,
Not enough oxygen.
right, not enough oxygen. And they sent him home earlier than they should have. And when he went home, he didn't have any nursing help, and he tried to eat and chewing stuff. And what happens is you aspirate into your lungs.
Yeah.
Well, when you get food into your lungs, now you develop bacterial pneumonia.
Yeah.
Because the bacteria in your lungs interacts with the food. Now he's right back in the hospital again. And it was just, you know,
Yeah, I've heard of that lately. It seems like a lot of people.
Yeah,
that's
because
how
her
they
sister,
die.
right.
Yeah, they choke. They
choke.
They can't, you know. And
Well,
Lou, the same thing happened to Lou, right?
Same
Yeah.
thing the day before, he
Yeah.
choked.
Yeah, there's something that's not working in
Yeah.
their throat. And they aren't,
But,
yeah, it's a funny thing.
yeah, well, I just felt sorry because for my father to die at 69 is really young today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
He always was healthy too.
Yeah, well, see, that's the other thing.
Strong, you know.
Right, he was always strong and healthy, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I gave up smoking in 1992, and hopefully I gave it up in time. It's one of the worst addictions there is. I was smoking 2.5 packs a day when I quit.
Yeah, I smoked too. He didn't
Yeah.
smoke that much, but I smoked till I got a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, again, you know,
So it's about 10 years now though, I have.
doing my social work at the time, I was going to see people
Yeah,
that, you know, they're on oxygen tanks. You
Oh.
know, they got emphysema,
Yeah.
they're on oxygen. And I get done, you know, and, okay, good, we'll see you next week, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow, my truck, you know, I'd get in there and I'd go to reach for that cigarette. And
yeah.
I'd say, man, I'm
Just-
killing myself.
You see them and I.
Oh, it was tough though. I tell everybody if it hadn't been for the patch, I wouldn't have been able to quit.
Yeah.
she went on the patch, I mean, I don't know how many times. I bought more patches.
It's all right. It's all good time.
Others.
And any day you're not
I only had
smoking.
a patch once.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was popular and you couldn't get it, you know, and I'd start on one patch, it was 2 different kinds. And then I'd go to the drugstore and get it, and they were out of it. You know, you still want, every week you would have the patch, okay? So they didn't have the next week, so then I went on the other patch, another kind. And then they didn't have it, and I was lost without it, really. But that was it. I mean, I couldn't get it, so.
Well, she did one good thing. She cured all our kids, I mean, not one of them spoke. She croaked them to death.
Yeah.
Well, you
then
see,
you know,
nobody gets into it with the idea that I'm gonna smoke until I kill myself.
No,
We
it's,
get into it because, I need a break. And
you feel like it gives you a lift.
it does.
You know?
It's the best drug out there.
Yeah.
It goes into your bloodstream within 7 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a unique drug because it'll do one of two things. It'll pick you up,
Yeah.
which is why we have a smoke in the morning to get going.
Yeah.
And then after a meal,
Yeah.
it'll calm you down. This is why we have there's nothing like a cigarette and a cup of coffee, you know?
Yeah. That's,
And it becomes ritualized too.
Right.
yeah.
Just like with a heroin addict. A heroin addict has to do this before he gives himself a hit. Because that's part of the ritual, gets his body going.
Yeah.
When I went to CCFL, I went for chemical dependency counseling. I was going to be an alcohol and drug counselor. I did some of that in the prison, which was an interesting experience. But anyhow, I was going to say what came out of my father's death was, you don't have forever. And I looked at my life and me and my wife and all because we spent every weekend working on this yard.
Sure. Well, that's good for you though.
Yeah, but you got to live life too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that live around here, they've never been to some of the greatest things there are.
Oh,
They've never been to Sonnenberg. They've never been to the George Eastman house. They've never been down. They've never. So after my father died, we just started doing things, and we, more or less, and we got interested in other things. Right. This is how we got. This is kind of like got the ball rolling, where life's made to live, and don't put it off. Go do it. We've been up to the Buffalo Zoo, we've been to Toronto, we've been here, we've been there. Just a lot of day trips,
Sure. We've traveled a lot. We've been to Europe 2 or 3 times. And
that's what I want to do after we retire, because Sandy's been to Germany like 3 times. Her mother was born in Munich.
Okay.
And Sandy's whole family, even the ones over here, they're all German too. They came up from Pennsylvania. They were some of the first settlers in Livingston County. They came up.
Yeah.
Her
Penny Ann is named after the Pennsylvania and the Yankees.
But her ancestor in Livingston County was Erhard Rau, R-A-U.
Okay.
And of course now a lot of them spell it R-O-W-E, but he came up here in 1820. He was one of the first ones, and she's traced back all that, But because her mother was born in Germany, she still had aunts and uncles that were in East Germany until the wall came down and everything. And she's been over to Germany 3 times to visit relatives and stuff like that. Now, a couple of years ago, my mother and stepfather, John Angie, they took a river tour over in Europe. It's like a miniature ocean liner. It holds about 300 people. It's gorgeous. They started off in Amsterdam, and you go down the waterways and down the Rhine River, and you can go all the way to Budapest. And it's really, and that's something I'd really like to do.
We've been there. We've been to Amsterdam. We've been down the Rhine. And we started out in Vienna, and then went to Switzerland, and they call that was the first trip we took with our oldest daughter. And Scenic Europe, they called it at that time. So that was a long time ago.
Scenic Europe was the castles, right?
Well, went through Bavaria and all of that. Was the same trip.
Well, her mother and father go back to Germany about every 2 years. They go back and see the relatives and.
Yeah, that was nice. So then we did it again. We went down the Rhine again another time, but that was a different trip. Like we didn't go to Amsterdam that time. We went to England, right? England and London, and went down the Rhine, went to Italy, and then we came back, and went to Paris on that one. But God, there's now we can't walk anymore like that, like we did,
So you take the train.
Yeah, we did. Oh, right.
Because you do a lot of walking.
We did a lot of walking. The first.
So don't wait too long.
Right.
Oh, no. This is why we want to do all this.
I retired when I was 59. Just making 60. They carried me to I could pick up the, as you say, the Social Security. I took it as soon as I could.
Absolutely. That's what everybody recommends, is don't put it off.
Right.
Get what you can get while the getting's good.
And
we're glad we went,
So we've been,
Went to Italy twice. Yeah. Went to Greece. That was the best trip, I think. We went way up northern Greece. It was a land trip. And then it was cruise too. It was 4 days on the all the islands, Greek islands, and Turkey.
Yep.
And and then they said that was the last time they were going to do that one though, because it went way up north in Greece. So we saw a lot of the country.
Wow, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
One of the things I do, and I tell everybody about it, is when you do your photo albums, do them for people 50 years from now that won't know who these people are. This is why I put a lot of first and last names on everything.
Yeah, that's
one of the most. I went over the old Morgan photo album that came from Clara Morgan.
Oh yeah.
It was hers when she was young.
Now was that your grandmother?
Your grandmother,
was her name Clara?
Yeah.
And you see all these pictures that say mom and dad.
Oh yeah.
And you don't know really who they are.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm trying to get myself in the habit, I don't even call my mother mom and these things, I call her Miriam.
Yeah.
And this was up at Gloria's.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
We have 4th of July up at Gloria's every year.
Okay.
They have a pond out there and...
Yeah, okay.
Now that looks like Lou.
That's actually Corey, that's Jenny's husband. He's
He looks exactly like, to me, I mean, when Lou was younger.
He's a deputy sheriff out in Livingston County. Now this is Gloria here.
Okay.
This is my sister Jackie.
Okay, well.
This is Madeline, that's Lou's youngest.
Yeah, I remember the names. Yeah.
There's Steve again.
We went to one of their weddings. I can't remember now. It was in Mount Morris, right, Deb? Went to, I don't remember.
Jennifer's? Just a few years ago or longer? Would have been
long time ago.
Probably.
Yeah, quite a long time.
But this is out in Gloria's side yard. We have a nice house up there. We have a big bonfire, and here's Lou. And then we're back on my side. This is more pictures of our house. This is our shed out back, and more. There's our garden there. It's evolved. I mean, now this is Steve Edick. That's his son when he graduated.
Okay.
And our cats again.
Now we're just graduating, in our family. Our daughter's oldest now just graduated from St. John Fisher. He's going to teach. But the rest of them are younger yet. They're just beginning to...
The one in California is just graduating this year.
From high school.
High school.
Yeah. So they're all a little bit younger.
I can see the cats have...
Oh, yeah. Oh. I tell you, we get more enjoyment out of those cats.
Yeah, we
Holy America, look at that. Yeah.
We had a big one like
that.
Out in Massachusetts. And
he was an outdoor cat.
We couldn't be without him now. Now here's a nice picture of Mary and my mother up at Gloria's and 4th of July.
Yeah.
This was us. We went up to the conservatory in Buffalo, which is really quite nice. Unfortunately, though, all these big cities,
they aren't taking care of it like they used to. Right.
The people that used to live in the area, the working class people, whatever, moved out.
Right.
Because it's a gorgeous conservatory, and it's surrounded by a slum.
We haven't been there in years.
Is that over on Humboldt Street, was it? Or where?
No, the one up in Buffalo.
Yeah, right. No, I was trying to think of
where it is.
Well, we used to live
in the city.
Yeah.
We used to live
it's right in the city.
in Tonawanda.
I went up there when I was a kid, even to the Museum of Natural History. I guess I remember the big dinosaur they had in there.
We went to the Buffalo Zoo.
Yeah.
But we were really surprised at how nice it was. Unfortunately,
we got to go back to Buffalo a little bit because we haven't been up there.
We went to the Anchor Bar and Grill. So we get those. That was really. I'll tell you what, their other food is just as good. That's a real good Italian restaurant.
Yeah, it's been there for years and years. Well, I like to go up and just go to the waterfront. We haven't been.
We went to the naval yard there.
Yeah.
The naval, that's very interesting. You can go on the submarine.
Yeah.
You got the carrier there that you can go on.
Yeah.
And they also have harbor tours.
Yeah.
Boats that go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things to do.
There. We haven't been there. We were went through Buffalo because I have a brother in Ohio. And we went out there to see him for a week. And then on the way back, we stopped in Buffalo just to pick up some food. We know of a place there in Sloan. It was through a girl that used to write to my brother. My brother was killed in the service in the invasion. And she wrote to him. She was just a young girl, you know, and she wrote to him. And then she came to Leroy just recently, last year, and found his grave and stuff and got in contact with us. And anyway, she had this big, the 60th anniversary, they have a museum there, and it's down by the old
New York Central.
Yeah, the terminal. And it's called Lovejoy Street, and they have their outings there. They close off the street and they have, you know, parties and stuff certain times of the year. And anyway, they have this museum they started there. So she's got a lot of stuff from the, well, it was, I think it was the 6th anniversary of D-Day, and it was maybe, I don't know how many years for that, for the train station there. Because there was a connection there because all the troops went out on that train, you know, that left this area, went to, and anyway, so she had stuff there from my brother, and she had all the radio stations come over, the TV stations, and they had the veterans there, and they, you know, did things that, so it was really nice. She had this, anyway, they had this roast beef on a buffet, you know, and he said, boy, that's good roast beef, you know.
I don't know if you ever eaten up in Stafford there at the
Red Osier.
Red Osier.
Angus beef, This was seasoned really good.
Oh, God.
Well, they branched out. You can find that Red Osier roast beef in a lot of delicatessens now.
But this place...
This was cheap. That was why he wanted to
Well, there's
find
one
out
place
where
up
they
there in
got
Buffalo we haven't been able to find. It's out by the airport that was featured on the Food
it.
Network.
Sloan?
I think,
That's it.
right.
It's like
Their
in Sloan.
specialty is beef on wick.
Oh, no, that's not.
Okay.
This is
a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
It's an Italian grocery store, and it's small. But they sell all this food. We got haddock, and we got frozen haddock, and oh, it's delicious.
See, we go down to Rochester, we go down to Parcells Avenue
The market?
for the German store down there.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Excellent food.
Yeah, we've never been down
Oh.
there. That's another place.
I go down to the market. I haven't been down.
We go down there all the time during the warm weather.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of that the city of Rochester's done the last 20 years that worked out the way it was supposed to.
Well, I wouldn't
Upgraded
say
it.
even that.
They don't have parking.
There's no parking.
I mean, they built those goddamn monsters of entranceways, and if they'd have put it into parking and put it into better roads, access, and
Get in there and out of there.
out of there,
Yeah.
because
The traffic.
I mean, people.
Oh, yeah, it's thriving.
It's getting in
Get
there.
in there, and it's a poor
We go down
section.
lots of times in the spring because on the Sundays they have the plants.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what we're after is the plants.
Right.
And that's,
Right.
but we've gone down for the garage sales, we've gone down for the regular Saturday
Right.
thing, you know.
Yeah, but this place in Sloan, I mean, God, what was the roast beef? It was, you know, you buy it
3.5.
3.5 a pound. I mean, you know, so you, so when we go through in Buffalo, we stop there now and pick up some stuff and put it in the freezer. But you can't beat the haddock because it's frozen and it's fresh.
Yeah.
And boy, when you cook it, you don't smell fish.
No, because that's what you want, is everything
Yeah.
frozen now, they freeze it right on
Right.
the
Freeze
ship.
right on the ship,
It's basically come out of the ocean, been
Right.
processed and
Right.
frozen.
right there, right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like the old days when they put it on ice.
Yeah.
So.
This is Lou's 80th birthday here.
Oh,
This is up at Glorious.
How old was he when he died? He must have been about 84?
82.
82?
Mhm.
Okay.
He was still functioning pretty good then. He had a lot of fun. He He loved opening up his envelopes with money in it, because he knew, because Mary and Lou would go up to the Grange, up to the little store, up above them, quite often and get stuff to eat.
He was active, like with the veterans.
Yes, oh, very, very. Gloria, Sandy and I up at Niagara Falls.
There's the ice.
Oh,
Yeah. That's always pretty.
These are just some shots around the house again. Now we're back out to Gloria's. And there's Carolyn.
Okay. You haven't seen her in years. Carolyn. Because they live in Leicester.
Yep, they live in Leicester. This was Christmas Eve. We for years, Sandy and I have gone over to Tuscarora for Christmas Eve services. Very, very nice.
Okay.
It's really an old-fashioned service. At the end they turn off the lights and everybody's got the candles and.
Yeah.
Arlene Granger, they used to live over there. I don't know if you met her while you were.
I think so.
She used to work. Well, I worked with her. I mean, she was in the plant as a secretary. And she died this year.
Yes, because they had they auctioned off the stuff at her house.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she lived in a barn.
We went over for the auction.
Converted barn over there.
Oh yeah, we know her.
And we have I'll say old timer get together at CCI. We meet at House of Poon on Monroe Avenue. About 3 or 4 times a year. I'll say old retirees.
They aren't that old, are they?
Well, hey man.
They're getting there.
Everything has changed. They said today 60 is the new 40.
Right.
If you're 60 years old, you're about the same physical condition that a 40-year-old was 2 generations ago.
Really?
See there.
Life's tougher, huh?
Well, no, it's advances in medicine.
Oh yeah.
We don't have the crippling childhood diseases anymore. My generation was the last. I mean, we still had polio when I was a kid, but even that's been pretty much eradicated.
Yeah.
You look at guys like Clint Eastwood. He's 76 years old and he's at his prime.
I got his book and I read the biography. We just got through. We went to because she'd been down with a flu or not flu, but cold and that for a couple of weeks. So to get her out of the house, we went and saw his latest movie there, The $1 Million Baby.
Did you?
Yeah. And he's quite a character.
Well, you just look at, everything's changed. Look at all our government officials and how old they are. At 70, you're just hitting your stride.
That's true.
This was Christmas last year at our house. We've got a, like a bow window there.
Great.
This was over at the bird path in Mendon Ponds. Have you ever been over there?
Yeah, well,
you put seed in your hand and the birds will come down and eat it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the chickadee, we got them out here.
This was Mary Edick's 80th birthday. Down in the church there.
Yeah, she's quite involved, I guess you would class it, with the church, right?
She was for years and years. I mean, actually, it's a really nice story. I mean, you've only got like 35 permanent members, and how they've got that little church
going
alive.
right.
And I'll tell you, and one of the things, and I say this from a historical view, you need a church in a community whether you go there or not. The church is kind of like an anchor that says, this is a place that's still functioning and alive and whatever. When the church closes and when the schools close, and you really lose that sense of community. In fact, one of the other things we kid about, since Sandy and I don't have any children, we can leave our money to whatever we feel like.
Whatever's left right now.
Yeah, we've got our well set up so that the church gets a pretty substantial fund, or a sum, but we've got it set up so they can only take out, like 10% of the accrued interest. In other words, nobody can go crazy and
Right.
draw it all out and take everybody on a trip or anything, but, you know, they could take out a few thousand to help maybe surface the driveway or something, and,
Yeah, keep things.
yeah, keep things going. Just more pictures from her birthday.
Now, who's,
That's my sister-in-law, that's Bobby's wife.
okay.
There's my mother, and that's Bobby's wife. Here we are down at the conservatory, down in Rochester last year, which is always fun to go through. This was 4th of July, 2004. This I got on eBay. What it is a 1945 calendar from my grandfather's store. It is the only one I've ever run across.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Years of looking,
yeah. Gosh,
and in perfect condition. It was gorgeous.
isn't it something? Yeah, yeah, you should have had a lot of antiques from that store.
Oh,
The barrels and all
Mendon
the,
Morgan.
all the, jeez. I remember this ring came from, what the heck was the name of the place? It's a catalog that was in, that Les had
Oh, yeah?
there in the, yeah,
Really?
yeah, ordered it from that catalog. Some brothers down, I can't remember.
Well, my dad and Les were close.
Yeah.
Howard was the other brother, but
They didn't see Howard in his
right,
family.
Well, Howard still has a daughter over in Leroy.
right.
I've talked to her on the phone, I haven't met her. I
But,
gotta go over and see her because she doesn't know anything about when they lived out in Wisconsin or anything about that part of the history.
Yeah, right. We don't either.
not that much. That
Oh, his mother used to say, well, they came from Wisconsin.
was Les there,
That's the only one.
and that's your father.
Yep.
I took that. That's when we were
Is that you?
That's me.
engaged. Yeah, isn't that something?
Wow.
Yeah, they were playing cards. Because we were at your house there in Tuscarora.
Mm-hmm.
And you used to have such big dinners, Thanksgiving or Christmas.
I'd like to make a copy of that if
Well,
I
you
could.
take it or, right.
I
I've got some old pictures to show
don't know if
you.
I've got any more than that. I'd have to go through too to see. I know they left.
Anyhow, this is what I do with the family. I got, at one time we had like 15,000 photographs.
Wow.
And you learn to get rid of any photographs with
Oh.
sunglasses on.
Oh,
Get rid of any
yeah.
photographs in the back of your head. And you really,
Yeah.
what you want to end up with is you want to end up with 1,000 really good photographs.
Yeah.
Because even these I'll sort out, you know,
Throw
as the
some
years
out.
go by.
He's good at that, throwing them away.
I threw out a lot of them. Right, well, we moved a number
Yeah,
of times.
we moved.
I mean, that's our
They
problem.
weren't in it. Well, we had 6 kids, so you didn't have time to
Well,
put it
no, but you
in
also,
You know,
you
so they were
can't do
thrown
it
in
before
a
you're ready.
box.
When
Yeah.
Sandy and I first got married and got together and everything, and we're like everybody else, you accumulate, to get this
Yeah.
big house, you gotta fill it up. Now we're going, now it's the
other
opposite.
way. Yeah.
I mean, we cleaned out our cellar is gorgeous, because there's,
Uh-huh.
I don't build shelves anymore, because all you do with shelves is find
They
stuff to
put
put
more
on
stuff
it.
on
So,
it, right?
I don't build any more shelves.
We got
I used to have a big, you know, I had a Sears, I built decks, I built everything, I had the cross-cut saws, and I had everything, got rid of all that, and I didn't do that
Really?
stuff anymore, yeah.
You still got all that stuff.
Yeah, I've got my hand tools and my power
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the neatest things, used to have an old dishwasher, a portable dishwasher. Well, when it bit the dust, you rip all the guts out of it. You got a nice cabinet now. I put shelves in there, it's on rollers, it's got a nice top. I put a vise on it. And I have that out in the garage, so that all my power tools are out there. But yeah, like I said, first part of our lives we're accumulating everything, and then you get to realize what's really essential and important.
We've thrown out stuff, moving, you know,
Yeah, 'cause-
with 6 children, you can't keep anything, you know.
Because we went from
All the toys and, you know.
Buffalo to Massachusetts, to Buffalo, and from Buffalo to Rochester.
So you know some of the history then from Wisconsin
Yep.
and that when the grandfather lived out there.
Mhm.
Now one of his grandfathers was sheriff, right?
That was William. He was a policeman at Liberal.
Policeman,
Right.
yeah.
I've got pictures of him in his uniform.
Well, have you?
Yep, I'll show
Oh,
it to you.
that's your grandfather?
Yep.
Yeah, his grandfather.
This is a V-mail from Lou to Mary during World War II. And one of the nice things I like about the computer too is I can scan stuff in and blow it up so I can read it. This is an invitation to Mary and Lou's wedding.
That's them?
Yep, that's Mary and Lou when they were married.
Yeah.
That's Lou with Dick. There's more there, but that was a nice photograph. That's pretty much, you know, the way they looked through all the years when I was young.
Yeah, that Mary is,
Yeah. This is Mary and Lou in 1983. That's when Madeline got married. Lou in 1990. 1994. You ever get up to the hill? What we call the hill is where the cabin was?
No.
We spent many, many years up there. That was a nice place. We had a pond up there and
I remember her saying.
yeah, that was where we used to spend all our 4th of July.
Yeah.
When you were up on the hill, you could, on a really clear night, you could see the lights from Rochester. And on 4th of July, you could actually watch the fireworks over in Leicester. And,
Really? That's up pretty high then.
well, I walked around there a lot when, I'll say your father less than I.
When you were young.
When we were young, I mean, I went over there and stayed a couple weeks at a time and then, you
We went
know.
on picnics too down to, let's see, all of us went down to
Springbrook,
Buffalo,
right.
at, what's the name of the park?
Spring-
Not Letchworth, but the other one there.
Spring,
That's,
Stony Brook?
Stony Brook.
Stony Brook, in Dansville, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go there.
Uh-huh.
With you, yeah.
This is Carolyn when she graduated from high
Okay.
school, or college, I should say.
Yeah.
This was her wedding. This is the mural that used to be in the church over there. And that's me.
Okay, gosh.
Here's my father.
Yeah.
My grandfather wasn't too happy with that marriage. In the
He what?
beginning. No, well, because Carolyn had her teaching degree, Jerry was in the Air Force.
right.
So he thought she should, you know, maybe find somebody else, but it turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah. You're still married.
Oh yeah, they're still married. Pictures of Carolyn through the years. This was their 3 kids. Linda's done very well. She operates, she's a manager for these really, avant-garde restaurants out in New Mexico. Very fancy. I mean, the ones are all chrome and lights and you walk in and they have like
I think we got
3 or 4 different stations with chefs behind them and you walk and you get your stuff and very nice. She's done well.
I know Carolyn, I think, wrote that they go out there to New Mexico. She, on their Christmas card, sometimes they write, you know, something like that.
This is up at their house in Leicester there.
We didn't hear it this year, but I mean, other years, she said what went on, you know, during the year and that they were there.
This is her grandson, Sean. He's done real well. He's actually a diesel mechanic, went to school for it, got a degree in it. These guys are in such big demand, you know, when a big piece of machinery goes down, he's got like 5 or 6 guys working for him and
Really?
Yep.
That's what
Jerry,
the
right.
Costa boy did too, David. That's, he went on this other side to take diesel, then he never worked at it.
the rest of these are all the other side of the family.
Got quite a,
Oh yeah. We got a little bit of everything. Now, this is stuff from my father's. I'll make you a copy of this if you don't have it. This is your grandfather here. There's William.
okay.
This is when they lived out in Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah,
There's my grandfather. That's Leslie.
okay,
There's your father. Is that Frank?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
There's Howard.
For goodness sake, yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's good picture. You don't have many like that.
Now this is you and my father. Remember this? With the dogs?
I took one of your grandmother, you know that.
No, there's
And,
Grandma Morgan there.
Yeah, when she was staying with you,
I remember
at your house. And,
when they lived-
Well, I guess she used to spend in the last years of her life, didn't she go spend a few months with each kid?
Right, as I said, right, she
Yeah.
lived with both my dad
Well,
and
she was
Les.
with Les then, because I remember taking a picture of her, and we've got that
And,
somewhere. Because it was I had it printed, I think it was a 35 millimeter, and then you slide, and then I had
I
it
mean,
printed
you know,
and gave it to them, I know.
I
Somebody,
have to say, it was not a happy thing on anything because, you know, both families.
Yeah.
She didn't know the people that, you know, like my father, we lived outside of town.
Now, when you lived, where was your father's house at? I mean, I remember being there, but it was over in Leroy,
It was
wasn't
in
it?
Leroy on
It
North.
was the railroad track.
Right,
yeah.
right, North Street,
North Street.
right.
yeah.
Crockers.
Right next to the creek there.
Now, Howard was a blacksmith at one time, wasn't he?
Howard was up by Jug City.
He lived in, Jug City, they called it. It was District Number 11. The school was there.
Uh-huh.
He lived right next to the school.
Did he?
And, yeah, and Bill used to come over and take care of the furnace and that in the school, I know, when I was there.
Well, Bill's gone now too, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, our old
Now,
homestead.
they had, Doris had one boy, right? I don't know what happened to him. Doris was, the daughter.
Mhm.
And she committed suicide, I know, in Leroy. She lived right there by the golf course.
Okay.
And so did his uncle. So did, what's his name? He shot himself.
Right.
Howard.
Oh, yeah, Howard, after,
Yeah.
he had a heart attack,
Yeah,
and when he had a second heart attack, he vowed he'd never go back in the hospital.
yeah,
He hated it, so.
yeah. He
But
wasn't well.
our old
Yeah.
homestead is still there.
Is it?
On North Street.
Yeah, where
Right
he
down by the
lives.
railroad tracks,
Yeah, where
right?
he lived.
Now, your father was in World War I, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
then next time I'll stop back over. I've got his, according to my father anyhow, his striker that they used to use to get the smudge pots going in the trenches.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a big oversized wick with a,
Uh-huh.
that was what my father always told me. He said that came from Frank, and
From World War I, huh?
that's what he used in World War I.
Good.
Well, when I went over to Vietnam, I took the Bible that my father had in World War II,
Did you?
that my mother gave